Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome back to another edition of Evolution of Pro Wrestling. I am your host, Lewis, formerly known as the Encyclopedia of Professional Wrestling. Today, we're going to be having on the show a very unique individual. This gentleman is a wrestler slash referee. He has refereed for numerous organizations in the indie scene, as well as a top organization out there. We're going to be bringing into the show Mr. Jarrod C. Fritz LMT. We're interested to see what his career was about inside and outside the ring. So let's welcome him into the show. See if he is available. And we're going to bring him in right now. And as we wait for Mr. Fritz, we're just going to give you guys a reminder. For tomorrow night at 6:30 will be our Monday night watch party interactive discussion, which right now it is a bit of a tie between two matches that are out there. So I'm not going to name the matches. If you want to vote, feel free to go on our page, Evolution of Pro Wrestling Like Group, and vote for your match party tomorrow night. Now we are just waiting for Mr. Jarrod to come on the show. Okay. Okay. All right, Mr. Jarrod, just come right into Evolution, and I will plug your video in. Okay, we are speaking to Mr. Fritz right now. He's coming in. All right, let's just wait for him to come in, sir. All right. In the meantime, I want to continue thanking you guys for supporting us, as you guys always do. As always, we do have our Monday night interactive discussion. Me and my partners were thinking of not going on this Friday, but we actually are. We're going to be going on Friday, and it's going to be a major topic. And we're going to be having another special guest on the show, which definitely is going to be interesting just to say. Once this gentleman comes onto the show. So this Friday, we're actually going to have our topic will be the history of the WCW and WWE/WWF titles. And I mean all of every single title, tag team, Intercontinental, United States, European, hardcore, all that stuff. Okay, so folks, just stand by. We're waiting for Mr. Fritz. He's having a little issue with his internet, but he should be with us shortly. I'm going to continue mentioning about our show. We do have our trivia show coming up July 10th, which we're going to be having as our guest, Mr. Alvin Cloud. He'll be coming on the show as well. And that's going to be a much harder trivia show for July 10th. And it's interesting to see how we are going to get a winner this time. All right, so we're just waiting for Mr. Fritz Camera to come up. He is here. We're just having a little internet issue. All right, as we continue, we're still waiting. We're actually going to start doing a Throwback Thursday. We're going to be putting a show on Evolution of Pro Wrestling's. Yep, we see you here, Mr. Fritz. We just need to see your camera. Can your camera come up? For some reason, it's not showing. Or if you can send an invite, maybe we can invite you. Something's going on with your camera. All right, I'm sorry, fans. I think we're having a little issue here with the internet. I do apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry about this, fans. We are having some major difficulties. But yes, we're gonna be doing Throwback Thursdays, and this Friday, I'm pleased to announce the guest that we're gonna have is gonna be Mr. Jose G from Weekends of Wrestling. Always bringing his controversy into our show, which is amazing because we have great discussions, and I'm anxious to see what's gonna bring out of Mr. Jose G. All right, fans, I do apologize. We're still waiting for Mr. Fritz. As this this was an interview we wanted to take place. Oh, wait a minute. I think we might got him. Here we go. Wait for him right now. And the moment he comes on, we will begin this interview. All right. Looks like we got him coming. Looks like we got him coming. And there he is. Hello, sir.
What's up,
Good
man?
evening. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm
Technical
good, man.
difficulties, huh?
I never said I was good at computers, man.
It's all right. It happens, man. It happened to me last show, so don't worry about it. Um, First off, welcome to the show, sir. It's actually our first time having a referee as a guest on the show, which makes this topic even more unique. For those of you that don't know, Mr. Fritz is actually a referee slash wrestler, and we're gonna get into those companies that he's worked for and is currently working for at this time. First off, we see you've been in the business 6 years. You've been trained by Mr. Bob Geller and John Schuyler.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
what possessed you to get into professional wrestling? Like what inspired you?
Well, I think the easy, quick answer is what most wrestlers say is, you've always wanted to do it since you were a little kid. And my mom was really against wrestling in general. Not that she was a prude or anything. She just wanted, her little boy to be safe and everything like that. Um, but I got the opportunity to get invited to a local promotion that we had here. Following my regular job is a sports massage therapist, and one of the doctors that works with WWE currently was at the '08 Olympics with me, and he invited me to do some work with WWE back then. And I worked with them just a few times, and I wanted to get back into it, so I got invited into a local promotion here. And they wanted to actually, because one of my friends was a wrestler there, and they wanted to use me as a storyline. But in South Carolina, you have to have a license to be within 6 feet of the ring. So I had to go through all the training, and they set up all that, and it was a slow evolution after that. Bob and John both saw something in me that I guess stimulated them to say, hey, maybe you want to do a little bit more than just this one little storyline we have. So what about doing some referee work? Because in the area at the time there wasn't a whole lot of referees, so it was just something that Bob runs his own company and he works with several other companies here. So it was just a good way for me to kind of get involved with it. And then because of my athleticism through all the stuff that I did in high school, he kind of said, well, you want to do wrestling too? And yeah, childhood dream achieved. So I did that for a little while and got to a point really where I felt that I had provided more to a wrestling show as a referee than I did as a wrestler. So I kind of shifted everything. I did sustain an injury to my shoulder, and that kind of helped move it along too. But I've never been happier, being a referee.
That, no, that's good. That's an excellent way to come into the business. Getting a feel of it the moment you get your foot in the door. Now, a lot of people in professional wrestling, some, not all, and fans as well, think that this guy's a referee. These guys are referee. They don't do anything. But little that they know, the referee have a big part in preparing for these matches. You guys gotta know where the moves are going, how to be in their ear to make sure next move or how to prepare for an injury. Like, how does that work? Like, with that adrenaline going inside the ring, how do you prepare for something like that?
Oh man, that's a really good question. I don't think anybody's ever actually asked me that, and I never really thought about it that way. For me, I was always taught from day one as I started learning to be a referee is that our responsibility is the safety of everybody in that ring. So I think your intention becomes more focused on, like you said, where do you have to be? What do you need to expect? Those type of things, so that you can have the highest level of safety for yourself as well as for everybody in there. So for me, Uh, I want to say it's almost intuitive because I am in the healthcare profession as a massage therapist and a personal trainer. So, like, I've always been very adamant and aware of everything that's going on. So it kind of just, I guess, worked hand in hand with it.
No, that's good. Well, that's one way to put it. It's amazing the way you guys do this work. It's hard to have to deal with something, especially injuries inside the ring, what to do next if a superstar does get injured. So, much respect to you guys to stay on top of it. Now, I see the organizations you've worked for. You worked for WrestleCade, WrestleForce, OSCW, PWX, and currently the NWA. The NWA is a big company that was back then, that had greats as Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Tony Blanchard, all these guys. How does it feel working for the NWA now with stars as James Storm as NWA champ or former Damian Sandow that is now goes by a different name in WWE? How does it feel working around these guys?
it's it's really mind blowing because growing up, I was always, and I still am, a very big fan of old school style wrestling, like wrestling that tells stories and really has these lasting legs that really go over months and months and months, and you have this big fight feel, and that's something that NWA is always given. And when I was presented with the opportunity, first and foremost, I was, absolutely honored and flattered, but nervous as hell too, because this is one of those things that I grew up watching. And I think, honestly, without any bias, I've always felt that the NWA has kind of been the standard for what professional wrestling is, and I feel that there's professional wrestling and then there's professional wrestling entertainment. And they're two things that work in the same wheelhouse, if you will. But yeah, it was really mind blowing. I remember reading they messaged me through Facebook Messenger, and I was just like, yeah, sign me up, I'll be in.
That's good. It's good. I could imagine, man, an honor like that. I grew up myself. I'm 38, and I love old school. All this stuff now. It's like, it's okay, but compared back then, wrestling was wrestling. I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it back then. I'm gonna ask you this question. I usually ask the talent this question, but I'm gonna ask you this question in a different way. Um, if you had the choice right now, say any major organization, WWE, New Japan, AEW, even back then, WCW, if you had a choice right now to referee a dream match, which one would it be and why?
So I've thought about this long and hard because I've been asked it many, many times, and it's always circumstantial. I feel like the answer is always circumstantial, like what's on your brain at the most recent type of thing. But the one that's really held kind of like firm throughout it all is perhaps Triple H versus Nick Aldis for the World's Heavyweight Championship at the Sportatorium back in the late 70s, 80s, somewhere in that range, to get that whole encompassing feel. Like that would be it for me.
Wow, that's an excellent match. That's an excellent dream match right there. Excellent, excellent. So, no, that's amazing, man. Mr. Fritz, if you have anything to promote, sir, or we usually give our talent the chance to promote to their fans. If you want to promote your organizations, feel free. The floor is all yours, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. I know that Old School Championship Wrestling, OSCW in Charleston's got a show coming up on July 12th. It's circumstantial right now if I'm actually going to be there just because of the health risk right now and my profession. But if you're in the area, check it out. I know that they don't have any live feeds or anything currently right now. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Jarrod.Fritz. And then on Twitter, it's at JFritzRefLife. Keep
Excellent,
it simple,
excellent.
man.
Excellent. So, Mr. Fritz, it has been an honor to have you on the show, sir. Very professional. We wish you the best of luck in your professional career, whether it's wrestling or being referee, as you mentioned to enjoy. And good luck, man, and keep doing it up.
Thank you so much for your time, man. Have a fantastic night.
Absolutely. You as well. Thank you. Bye
All right, man.
bye.
Take care.
And there you have it, fans. Mr. Jarrod C. Fritz LMT, the current NWA referee that this man is refereeing pretty superstars all over this industry. Thank you, fans, for watching. As always, please follow us on Evolution of Pro Wrestling at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and now TikTok. We are now having a TikTok account, so we're going to do some stuff there. And also, join us tomorrow night at 6:30 sharp for our watch party, our Monday night watch party discussion match. And this Friday night, our weekly episode of Evolution of Pro Wrestling with myself and my colleague, my son Jaden, the Wrestling Whiz Kid. And our topic for this week will be the history of the WCW and WWE championships with special guest, Weekends of Wrestling's own Mr. Jose G. For myself, Lewis, my partner Jay, and my producer and director, my lovely wife Yesenia, thank you for joining us. See you tomorrow night.